Hey everybody, this is Cardboy321 and I've got a new trick just for you. Now, it's the first time I'm doing this, and so what I've got here is I'm going to tell a story with this deck of cards. And so there's this guy, his name's Sam the Bellhop. Of course he never existed, but if he did, he would own his own cafe, and it'd be down the street from a place called the 654 Club. Now you've probably never been there, and that's good because it never existed. But if it did exist, Sam would be sitting there, and then on this one slow night, big double doors would open, fancy frosted glass double doors, and 4 men would walk in. And they're all dressed like kings. And they call Sam up, and they're like, "Hey, can we get a table?" And he said, "Sure." He sat him down, and after a little while, maybe 15, 20 minutes, they said, "Hey Sam, we're kind of lonely. Do you think you could find us a few women to help the time go by?" He says, "Well, I'll try, guys. I don't know, but I'll see what I can do." So he took a little walk down 1, 2, 3 blocks, and he said, "Guys, I found a couple brunettes and a couple of redheads." They said, "Oh, thanks, Sam. That's great. They're beautiful. Where'd you find them?" He says, "Oh, right down the street, the 654 Club. You should go there sometime." And they're like, "Oh, okay, thanks. Here's a $2 tip for you. $2 tip." So they're sitting there with the women, and then they decide, why don't we have a game of cards? So they start dealing out the cards, and they realize they don't have enough card players. So they called Sam over, and they're like, "Hey Sam, we want to have a game of cards, but we don't have enough people. Do you think you could find us a few card players?" He said, "Well, I don't know, but I'll see what I can do, guys. You're nice people, I'll see." So he took a little walk down 1, 2, 3 blocks, and he said, "Guys, the best I could do for you were 4 guys, but they're all named Jack." And they said, "Oh, thanks, Sam. That's great. Where'd you find them?" He said, "Oh, right down the street, the 654 Club. You should go there sometime." They said, "Oh, thanks, Sam. Here's a $2 tip for you. A $2 tip." So the card game is going, but then the kings run into some bad luck, and they owe the women some money. And all they have is a $40 check. So they call Sam over. They're like, "Hey Sam, we need some money. We only have a $40 check. Could you cash it and get us a couple of 20s? He said, "Well, guys, I'm not sure, but I'll see what I can do. You're nice people." So he took a little walk down 1, 2, 3 blocks, and he said, "Oh, sorry guys, they're all out of 20s, so I got you 4 10s. I said, "Oh, thanks, Sam. That's great. Here's a $2 tip for you." Oops. A $2 tip. And so they're really starting to like this guy, Sam. They call him over. They say, "Hey, Sam, you're kind of a young guy, aren't you?" He's like, "Oh, kinda." They say, "I guess your age to be like 38. He's like, "That's close. 39. So like, "Hey, Sam, what's your address?" And he says, "Well, I don't give my address out to anybody, but you're nice people, so I'll tell you. I live in a nice part of town. I live in 1328 West 8th Street. And I say, "Oh, Sam, do you ever gamble?" He says, "I gamble every day down at the 654 Club. You should go there sometime." And they say, "Have you ever seen any good poker hands?" He's like, "Well, sometimes. One time I was there, and I had 2 7s, or 3 7s, and a couple of 8s. They say, "Oh, wow, it was a great hand. Did you win?" He said, "No. There's this other woman there. She had 3 aces and a pair of 9s. They said, "Wow, that's a great hand. Did she win?" He said, "No. Cardboy321, that magician guy was there. His hand, straight flush." And that's the story of Sam the Bellhop and the 654 Club. Hope you guys like it.